your boy Jeameave, back in with Views from the Heart. I hope you're having a blessed day. And today I have a 2017 Chrysler 300S, courtesy of Carlux. And this specific one actually has the option 5.7 liter Hemi V8, pushing 363 horsepower and 394 pound-feet of torque. Now, for those of my faithful viewers may know that I previously did a Chrysler 300 SRT that was a 2012, but I was, how should I say, I was very disappointed in it. The interior was not up to par in my opinion. They had an antiquated 5-speed automatic, which I thought was awful. And overall, to have this SRT moniker on it, I was very disappointed. But that was a 2012, and this is a 2017. So let's go ahead and see exactly just how much 5 years makes a difference for this vehicle. Obviously, it's the newest body style, the newest interior, and it still has the, well, for Dodge anyway, obviously now, for those of you who don't know, Chrysler owns Dodge, you know, Fiat-Chrysler. It has the RT, basically, engine of what you would find, not the RT Scat Pack, but the RT 5.7 liter V8. And let's go ahead and see what 5 years in the lineage of this car makes it, how much of a difference there is. So let's go ahead and check it out. So what's this like driving a 2017 Chrysler 300S with the 5.7 liter Hemi V8? I'm not gonna lie, this engine makes it feel like a complete badass, and there's just something about V8s, especially Dodge V8s, it's just so loud, so rambunctious, so out there, so in your face, like you just hear it miles away. You have to respect it, it commands respect, and look at my video. Not bad. And this ZF 8-speed automatic in here is so much better than the 5-speed automatic I experienced in the SRT8. I'm just trying to let y'all listen. Oh my god. And this is not even that fast of a car, to be honest. It only has 363 horsepower. But I tell you what though, for the average customer, it's more than fast enough. And it's like we're not even going ridiculous speeds like that. I'm not gonna say it's slow. It's not slow by any means. It's definitely, it has some nice jet up, and it's more than adequate for the average person. But at the same time, the way that this engine sounds and the way it just makes you feel, it makes you sound like you're going to warp speed. It's so loud, but yet it sounds so good. It's not like some muffler delete Honda going or sound like a Subaru. Subaru's fans can hate me too. I hate the sound of Subarus. Robert likes them. I hate the sound of Subarus, but
I love all cars, bro.
I love.
Except for the FRS.
Except
for the FRS. Don't bring me on that bull.
But I'm honestly completely impressed with this car. And like I said, for my favorite viewers know that I did a SRT8 Chrysler 300, although it was obviously 2012. The 5 years in the lineage and this Chrysler 300. Those 5 years has completely transformed this car in ways that I never could have possibly imagined without driving it. Now, it still has a certain stigma to me of being like, you know, a passenger mobile, an Oldsmobile type drive. And I think the hardest question to me is what I'll try and come up with the answer by the end of the video, is if I would personally own this vehicle, and I'm not exactly sure yet. And I'm only saying that because, well, the Dodge Charger exists. So, but like I said, I'll just let you listen. But this vehicle is lowered, and unfortunately we are in Inglewood, although west side, best side. We're in Inglewood, California, Los Angeles, California, sunny Los Angeles, California, and the roads are awful. And this does have what would seem to be an aftermarket suspension, and is lowered, and it has brass knuckle. No, it's not brass monkey. Brass. This is probably the most optioned up Chrysler 300 I've personally seen. I'm surprised the person who even purchased it let it go, because it only has 40,000 miles on it. And I don't really know how, as a personal owner. But one thing I'm noticing though is the visibility. The rear window, it's not the worst. It's not like Camaro bad, but it's not the best either. It's adequate, but it feels very small. and that's something I really just kind of noticed. It's the angle of it is very weird, but I mean that's minor though, because overall I can still see everywhere else that I need to see. Just kind of in the rear itself is a little interesting to say the least. But overall, like I said, I know you guys are hearing the engine right now, and obviously, as with most Dodge anyway, the main selling point of their cars is the 5.7 or the 6.4 liter V8 or the 6.2 in the Hellcat, whichever one floats your boat. But like I said, for the average consumer, the 5.7 is more than adequate enough for like I have it in sport mode right now. And this is not the most luxurious car, don't get it twisted, but it is definitely miles ahead, like I said, of the SRT, which is pretty mind-boggling. That a 5-year difference is obviously a pretty decently long time, especially when it comes to cars and their lifetimes. But this interior is miles ahead of the SRT. It honestly is. You have full leather seats, you have leather in a lot of the places, not in every place. Like there's no leather on the dash, a little bit too much use of plastics and things like that. But you have leather on the door panels where you would rest your arms. You have leather in the middle. You have like a piano black. This would probably be annoying over time because of dust and just upkeep. The piano black is very glossy. I think a more muted approach would be better. Yeah, that too. And then, but overall, like it looks classy, and it looks clean, and it looks nice. Honestly, it really does. Now, one thing that I have noticed, especially specifically, is the steering. The steering is far better than SRT 2012. I don't know how you can go from that and call that SRT and then go to this. Like I know all the cars improves, and I appreciate that and I understand that. But damn, fam, y'all did a complete 180 with this. Like, it's not BMW steering, but compared to what it was before, it's far. Man, that sounds so good. Do I take this corner right here? I'll just feel. Wow, there's a good amount of feedback in here. Man, you just hear that crackle too. Oh damn, and in the corners too, the steering comes a little bit more alive and gives me more feedback. That's really interesting. I never really felt it before. I felt it kind of did weighted more instead of being more freely. But man, wow, I'm impressed, Robert. Honestly, honest to God, I'm impressed. Like this has changed my entire opinion of the Chrysler 300. But still, even though I say that, I still don't know if I would own it personally, just because I know that the Charger exists. I guess I'd have to drive a a newer Charger to really give a solid opinion. But I would say that if the Charger falls flat on the handling that I'm experiencing in this, then absolutely I would get this.
But the question is, which Charger though? Because you do know the option 392.
Yeah, obviously it would either be an RT. It would have, to me personally, for the money, because there are such things as an RT Scat Pack. Yeah. But I would have to get something with leather. Like I would have to have comfortable seats. I would have to have comfortable luxury amenities, as I would in here with either the 392 or the 5.7 liter V8. Man, it just sounds so good though. And anyone that knows me personally knows I'm not the biggest fan of V8s, but I respect it. Just because I feel like V8s are how should I say? Well, as I aforementioned, it's really in your face and it commands attention, and sometimes it commands the wrong attention. And anybody that drives spiritedly knows exactly what I'm alluding to when I'm talking about the wrong attention, because we've all been there, and trust me, it's not a good feeling when you see those red and blue lights in your rear view mirror. That's for sure. Butt cheeks clench maximum. But bruh. But like I said, this is really good steering. I don't understand like what kind of logic goes on with the steering, but as you're making a turn, it gets firmer and it gives you more feedback. But when you're just on the straightaway or just kind of merging, it doesn't feel as composed, which I think is really cool. It's lax as you're just cruising along, but yet as you're turning, it firms up. Especially when you're on a little bit more speed, it firms up, and that's something the only other car that I can recall off the top of my head that implements sort of the same thing is the Lexus IS 200T that I did. Remember when I did that one turn, I was like, the steering firmed up a little bit. But this does the same exact thing, and I think that's pretty cool. Now, personally for me, I prefer heavy steering all around. That's just me, but that's also because of the car that I drive. I'm used to that nice hairy, I said hairy, oh my, heavy weighted steering that feels connected to the road. And honestly, this is a very, very nice medium between providing pretty good steering, but yet comfortable when you're just cruising along like this. And that's incredible to me. Like this is something I would never have expected from Chrysler, considering my own personal experience with Chrysler. This is something that, man. Like, have you driven this really before today, Robert?
Yeah.
What are your overall thoughts of this, especially considering?
It impressed me. I mean, I enjoyed how they changed this. I mean, even though I'm still
not a fan of that specifically,
but it is better than the last generation with the whole. Whatever that.
It's still weird to me. Like,
it's weird
for people that don't know. It has a dial for gear selection.
Yeah, but nowadays they have that, like the Range Rover, the freaking. Unless you want that or the one that you press the button. Nowadays they're doing that.
That's true, because I think I've seen something like that in the Ram. I think that's absolutely disgusting.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, I do think it's in the newer ones, depending on like the limit or something like that. I don't know exactly, but that I don't think I would ever really like.
But overall, I like the response time, the comfort, and like I told you earlier, how like even if you are cruising, the engine doesn't fully use the whole.
Yeah, it has cylinder deactivation.
Yeah.
So it does protect you a little bit on the gas front. But at the end of the day, if you're getting this to get good gas mileage, you made a critical error in your research. Like you probably need to reconsider some other life choices too.
It might save you a little bit, but actually it didn't do that bad on the freeway.
Personally for me though, if you're dating this car,
oh, you think I'm gonna be smashing on the freeway?
Of course.
Hell, nah. Not unless somebody wants to race me, then okay. Damn.
Well, what I'm alluding to is anyone that can hear this car and drive this car, the last thing on their mind is good gas mileage, to be honest. Like, I don't see any which way in...
Nah, either way, if you get a V8, you can be spinning. You should know.
We got a Camaro behind us too, but it looks like it's RS. Oh, fellow Challenger. It's a Hellcat too. Okay. But the bigger brother in this car. But
he ain't gonna be using the 700 horsepower.
Yeah, just because it has 700 horsepower does not mean you need to use it all the time.
Yeah, but I bet you you'll be using the freaking red key and so this Camaro really, no bro, just stay in your lane, man. Just like you Camaros, man. Not a fan.
But anyway, this is about the Chrysler 300S. And like I said, if you're gonna get a Chrysler 300S, please get the 5.7 liter Hemi V8. Do not stick for the 3.6 liter V6. You'd be doing yourself a massive disservice. And this vehicle weighs the same amount as the are you gonna merge or what? I hate. Alright, god damn, fam. Like, anyway, this vehicle weighs just under 4,100 pounds, the same as the Porsche Panamera that I did yesterday. And that's 63 horsepower. You do feel it. You definitely do feel it. But it's not just the 63 plus horsepower. This vehicle has the V8 as compared to the naturally aspirated 3.7 liter V6 in the Panamera has just about 100 more torque. So that's where we feel that extra kick. Besides just the horsepower, we feel that extra grunt, especially in the lower RPMs. And that's really, really enjoyable, to be honest. And like I said, man, there's so many different things that are flying through my head right now that it sounds so good, man. It honestly does. It sounds so good. And I don't think I could have ever really been this positive towards the Chrysler 300, but this is really nice. This is really, really nice. But, and I keep on saying but, it, to me, in my mind personally, it still has that stigma of being an older gentleman's car, a geriatric car. And no lie, literally earlier today when we were getting gas, who approached us, Robert?
Oh yeah.
We had an older gentleman approaching us talking about if we were selling it. I cannot make that up. He looked like at least mid-50s.
Yeah, that was like 60.
I said at least.
Yeah.
I was being generous.
But he just got
That, no cap, no shots at anyone. That's just kind of what it attracts. And that's not a bad thing either. It's just, you know.
He just bought a new. He just bought that new.
Yeah, he had a 2017 and 2018 Kia Stinger, and he was checking this out. So I don't know what that's gonna imply, but I mean,
he wants something with muscle.
yeah, he wanted something that sounds like this.
Yeah.
Something like this. We hit that right button, but I know y'all appreciate that though. But like as usual, you know, like I said in the very beginning, this vehicle is available at Carlux. It only has 39,959 miles. It is available here at a very, very great price in my personal opinion. And honestly, the magical question is, would I own this vehicle? Yes. Yes, I would. Had to build anticipation. Honestly, yes, I would own this car. It's not a bad car by any means. It offers surprisingly good handling and steering and comfort, in my opinion. The engine sounds great, but I would own it with the caveat being if I had a really good deal and there was not a good deal for an equivalently spec'd Charger. I just personally like the Charger better. That's just my personal opinion. If I could find an equivalently equipped Charger with either the same engine or the 6.4 liter 392 V8, I'll go with the Charger probably every time, personally. But this is not a bad alternative depending on what you're looking for. If you're trying to be a little bit more low-key. You remember, like in my mind, it's just ingrained that this is the pastor-mobile. Every time you see a pastor or church sermon or whatever you want to call them, they usually, probably 8 times out of 10, have a Chrysler 300. some year, I swear to God.
Yeah, you talked about that in the earlier video.
Oh, it's the truth. It's honestly the truth.
It is true.
But I give it a thumb and a half up. Thumb and a half, I would say, because I'll just leave it at that. I really do enjoy it though. I'm really pleasantly and genuinely surprised by this vehicle, and I don't think you could go wrong with it, to be honest. But with that said, like as I mentioned, this vehicle is available at Carlux. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you guys have a blessed day, and I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm out.